Earth's safety from deep space impacts relies on a physical wall of rock rather than an invisible shield. Floating between Mars and Jupiter is the Asteroid Belt, a dense ring containing over 1.1 million massive, distinct objects suspended in orbit. This entire debris field is held in check by Jupiter. Its immense mass acts as a gravitational anchor, locking these millions of dangerous rocks into a stable, continuous orbit. This multi-billion-year stalemate is entirely dependent on constant, unyielding orbital tension. The stability we observe is a precarious balancing act. Earth essentially sits at the barrel of a loaded cosmic shotgun. Jupiter is the single mechanism keeping the trigger from pulling. If a rogue black hole were to brush past our outer solar system, its immense pulling force would be enough to drag Jupiter slightly out of its perfect alignment. This animation illustrates Laplace's chaos theory in action. A perfect balance cannot survive a liner disruption. Once the primary anchor shifts, it causes the entire gravitational web to violently snap, resulting in immediate failure. Without Jupiter's tether, the asteroid belt instantly collapses. Millions of rocks accelerate toward the inner planets at speeds exceeding 80,000 kilometers per hour. The edge of this swarm sits between 150 and 300 million kilometers away from Earth. While this seems vast, the chaotic breakdown of the belt's orbit creates a direct path for the debris. Scientists calculate that this violent acceleration toward the inner planets leaves humanity with a window of exactly 31 hours from the moment Jupiter shifts until the first rocks strike our surface. As the 31-hour countdown begins, the mechanics of the swarm organize into a targeted assault. This visualization of the asteroid belt highlights empty rings known as the Kirkwood gaps, normally swept clear by Jupiter's gravity. When Jupiter is displaced, base zones invert, transforming into bright funnels that grip nearby asteroids and accelerate them inward. These funnels concentrate the rocks, packing them tightly together to form a dense, focused barrage aimed directly at the inner planets. The laws of orbital mechanics actively weaponize the debris field, guaranteeing a concentrated strike pattern on Earth. The single largest object trapped within this swarm is the dwarf planet Ceres, which dictates a full third of the asteroid belt's total mass. NASA data confirms that beneath the rocky crust of Ceres lies a massive planetary-scale ocean of liquid water. As the chaotic gravitational shear rips Ceres from its established orbit, the physical stress on its structure becomes overwhelming. Suddenly exposed to the vacuum of space, its subterranean oceans instantly boil. The immense pressure of the vaporizing water causes Ceres to violently detonate. This explosion fractures the dwarf planet into millions of pieces, forming a sprawling, dense secondary cloud of jagged ice and rock that trails closely behind the main barrage. The belt's largest resident has been transformed into a massive fragmentation grenade, vastly widening the incoming swarm. In the final hours, Earth's atmosphere is completely overwhelmed. While it safely burns up about 100 tons of space dust every day, it cannot process the unprecedented volume of the incoming swarm. The historic Chicxulub asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was only 10 kilometers wide, yet it exploded with a force 2 million times greater than the Tsar Bomba, the largest nuclear weapon ever tested. Now imagine the atmospheric entry of hundreds of rocks the size of Chicxulub, alongside massive fragments from dwarf planets like Vesta, Pallas, and Ceres, all arriving simultaneously. The sheer friction generated by thousands of massive asteroids entering the atmosphere at once superheats the sky, pushing ambient air temperatures into the thousands of degrees Celsius. Before a single rock physically strikes the ground, the oceans begin to rapidly boil and evaporate. The radiant heat from the sky alone incinerates half of all terrestrial life. Our protective atmosphere operates as the very mechanism that burns the planet. At 0 hour, the physical impacts hit. Thousands of rocks, many over a kilometer wide, slam into the surface at 80,000 kilometers per hour. This deep cross-section reveals the effects of crustal displacement. The kinetic shock waves from the impacts are so immense that they melt the rigid tectonic plates, liquefying the solid rock layers and shattering the boundaries of the continents. As the surface dissolves into magma, the the extreme pressure triggers the simultaneous eruption of every dormant volcano on the planet. Millions of tons of vaporized rock and sulfur are immediately ejected into the stratosphere, establishing a thick, permanent layer of dust that blocks out 100% of incoming sunlight. Deprived of solar heat, global temperatures plummet to -40 degrees Celsius. The vibrant blue marble becomes a dark, frozen wasteland, drifting quietly in space. Cold, uncaring gravitational mechanics will erase humanity and all terrestrial life.